Good morning. This is Joanne. I have been working on my bird bath. I made a video yesterday of me trying to make a silicone mold. I see my tarp is blown up over my project. But anyways, so my bird bath is coming along. I got the leaves. I still have to do some finesse work on them. I found this bird bath petal. If I can, this is from a geranium leaf. I made a mold last year, or a few years ago, anyways, of that leaf. So yesterday I made another leaf out of that mold, and then I have one other geranium leaf that I'm going to go ahead and use. I need to polish up the bottom. It's going to be on top of one of these leaves. So, forgive my mess here, but I made this leaf yesterday and was going to make a silicone mold. I grabbed the wrong caulk. This is latex. It does not work. It is not silicone. It dissolves in the dishwasher or in the dishwater or cold water in the bowl mixed with some Dawn dishwashing soap. And I mixed it and it turned into thick paint. So don't do that when you do it. I am going to clean up my area here, and I am going to keep this leaf handy. I'd like to chip off some of these things, but actually I think it might give it a little bit of character. But whatever character I have is going to be on all three of them because it's going to be in the mold. So I am going to mix up some silicone, and I'm going to make a mold of this leaf so that I can make more of them without having to take leaves off my plants or buy plastic leaves or whatever. I made one the other direction, but the pattern was on the outside and I took it out of the mold too quick and it broke. So leave it in there for at least a few hours and make it a little bit thicker than, that was about 1/8 of an inch. And the texture, the veining of the leaves, if that cuts up into it, it'll be like a sidewalk where people just cut a little crack in the groove in the sidewalk so that the cement will break there and not everywhere else. You don't want that to be the case. So with this, I put the vein in the leaf on the top side so that it wasn't next to the cement. And I'd rather have it thicker there instead of thinner. So I'm going to set up my camera and get some water and show you how I make a silicone mold. If you already know how, feel free to skip it. Okay. So I am back. Something I've seen people do, and I'm going to try it today. I don't really use a lot of blue food coloring in food, so I'm going to mix a little blue food coloring in my silicone water. So I'm going to put the silicone in here. Maybe it'll give it a tinge so I know which bird bath I made it for. I'm sure I'll remember, but anyways, molds could be colorful. So that is cold water. This is a dirty glass that I've used for resin, but it's hardened and it's not going to get in here. So used about a 1/4 cup of Dawn dishwashing soap. That I'm just going to mix in. I had a little bit of residue of that cement in the bottom of this bowl, and I just rinsed my hands in it, and it actually hardened to the bottom of this bowl. So it looks like there's cement in there, but there's really not. It's just a cement bowl now. I may find something to clean it out with, but not today. I am going to cut off the top of this. My other cutters. I'm thinking it'll probably take 2 of these. I don't know whether to do both of them at the same time or just one first. Seem to have misplaced my fine tipped screwdriver that I could poke holes in this with. Some of them, if you squeeze hard enough, they'll just break through that membrane. Well, I found one of them, and it'll work. So I'm just gonna squeeze this whole tube of silicone down here into the water, soap water. And that soap, the only thing it does is keeps it from sticking to my hands. And it's because I don't really want silicone stuck to my hands everywhere. And get it all in there. I think what I'm going to do, this silicone mold will stick to the other silicone if I need to put more in there. So I am going to go ahead and just put 1 tube in at a time. I know that's going to need more. Actually, I don't think it hardens immediately. I hope not. It's been a while since I did this. But that is how I made my other one long ago. I am going to go ahead and do both of these because that's a big leaf. don't want to have it, the mold coming apart. So I messed up the other day. I bought 4 or 5 of those tubes of that other caulking, and it was acrylic, and all it did was make thick paint. But I dissolved a whole tube of that in soap water yesterday, and definitely didn't have any silicone to work with. Every now and then life just gets so busy, and then I try to find something a little less expensive when I see the price of this stuff. This was $11 a tube. The other acrylic was some of it was $3, $2.98. Some of it was $5.98 or $4.98. So that is why I grabbed it instead of this. I was thinking it said silicone on it, but and low odor, which is 2 of the things I was looking for. But turns out that it was acrylic plus silicone, which did not did not work for our purposes. So now this is forming a ball. I don't remember exactly how. I think I better use this, is what I think. I'm gonna dip my leaf in the soapy water and see if hopefully that will help it release later. Oh well, there's one edge here where where there is a hole. Okay, so I want this kind of thick, and it's definitely got to go over the edges, all the edges. So that I get the depth and everything in there. Well, now this will harden pretty quick, especially after it's been in the soap. So I want to make sure that edge goes over the edges, all the edges that I want. It doesn't have any holes because I don't want the cement and making our petal with a great big lump somewhere. Wow. I don't want that thin. See how we're doing here. Whoops. Definitely need to keep soap on there. I don't know what that kind of little birdie is, but sure has a high-pitched little song. Just trying to get some of this over all of this edge. Some of it was kind of rough. Feeling it's kind of starting to set up. I still have some areas that need work done, because I need silicone there. And it helps if it's like this one, the inside edge is wrapped over the edge and over a little ways on the back, because it needs to be able to help you make that edge, and it needs to be the thickness that you want it. And if it's too thin, when I pull it off of here, it might tear. And I sure don't want that. If I can not see any of the cement underneath, and I think just maybe I will have gotten it covered right. And yes, if I would have done that edge all nice and smooth inside, it definitely would have gone on a whole lot easier and cleaner. But looking at it, I thought, I'll give those little birdies a whole lot of places to perch, which really makes them happy and makes them feel better about going in a bird bath. If you ever watch birds, they're like, they check out everything. Check out everything and make sure they might fly over it 5 times trying to land and not see a place that's close and not feel like it's safe enough. And when they do that kind of stuff, it's like, what are they looking for? And they do love to land on something solid close to the bird bath so that they can check things out before they sit down. Well, I know this is going to start setting up, so I don't want to work it too much and have it start breaking off of here. I know this seems kind of thin here, but I guess maybe I can put a little more there. Sorry, even if this isn't much, there isn't much odor here. Chemicals and me just don't get along very well. I cleaned houses for, oh man, 8 years or better, other than just my own, all kinds of houses. And did lots of spring cleaning and cleaning for shows and real estate things. So I used all kinds of cleaners, all kinds of chemicals. Some of that stuff your moms use and that you use out there. Sometimes you need a gas mask just to try to clean your clothes or your floors or your counters, so especially bathrooms. Anyway, I'm going to let that set, so I will be back when it's done, show you how it works.